From the very beginning, Arjun was always the one left behind. He wasn't the fastest, the smartest, or the most confident. In school, he was the boy who sat in the last row, afraid to raise his hand. When he spoke, his voice trembled. When he tried, people laughed. Teachers overlooked him. Classmates ignored him. And slowly, Arjun began to believe what the world showed him, that he wasn't good enough. He tried to fit in. He tried to be louder, funnier, more like the others, but it never worked. The more he tried to become someone else, the more invisible he felt. At home, things weren't any better. His father often compared him to others. Look at Sharma Ji's son. Why can't you be like him? His mother stayed quiet, caught between love and helplessness. Arjun stopped sharing his thoughts, stopped dreaming out loud. The world had made it clear there was no space for a boy like him. When he applied for college, rejection letters followed one after another. "We regret to inform you," became a sentence he memorized. His friends moved on, built lives, posted pictures of success. Arjun stayed in his room, scrolling through a screen that constantly reminded him of how far behind he was. The silence in his house grew louder, the shame thicker. The mirror, a place he no longer wanted to look into. One day, while walking back from a failed job interview, he stopped at a small park. He sat on a rusted bench, head down, heart heavier than ever. He whispered to himself, "Maybe I'm just not meant for anything." That sentence hurt, not because it was new, but because he had started believing it. And then, something happened. A little boy came running towards the bench. He had fallen while playing and had scraped his knee. He stood in front of Arjun, crying quietly, not knowing where to go. Arjun bent down, took out a handkerchief, and wiped the boy's tears. "You'll be okay," he said gently. "Just a small scratch. Be brave." The boy nodded slowly. After a moment, he smiled and ran off. It was a small moment, but it stayed with Arjun, because for the first time in a long while, someone had looked at him not with judgment or rejection, but with trust. That little boy didn't ask for proof of success. He didn't care about Arjun's failures. He just needed someone, and Arjun showed up. That night, Arjun stood in front of the mirror again, but this time, he looked differently. He didn't see someone broken. He saw someone who tried, someone who didn't give up, even when the world gave him every reason to. Someone who still had kindness left in him. He asked himself a question he had never dared to ask before: what if I believed in myself, even if no one else does? The next day, he took out an old notebook, one he had hidden at the back of his cupboard. It was filled with sketches, characters he had drawn since childhood, worlds he had created when no one was watching. He had stopped drawing long ago, thinking it was useless, but now those pages felt alive again. He started drawing again, every day. Not to impress anyone, not to prove anything, just for himself. Weeks turned into months. His sketches improved. His confidence grew. He began posting his art online, anonymously at first. Slowly, people noticed. A few likes turned into comments, then shares. Then one day, an email came. An independent publishing house wanted to collaborate with him. They had seen his work and loved his style. He didn't believe it at first, but it was real. He met them, shared his ideas, and soon, his first illustrated book was published. Not a bestseller, not a huge launch, but it had his name on it, his art, his voice. Suddenly, the boy who had been rejected by everyone had created something of his own. People who once ignored him started noticing. Teachers who never remembered his name now invited him back to speak at events. Family members who once doubted him now said, "We always knew you had something special." But Arjun knew the truth. None of them believed in him, until he did, and that made all the difference. He didn't forget the pain. He didn't erase the past, but he no longer carried it like a wound. He carried it like armor, a reminder that even when the world shuts its doors, you can still build your own. He continued creating, telling stories through art, teaching young kids who felt like he once did. Not good enough, not seen, not chosen. And every time he stood in front of them, he told them the same thing: you are not your rejections. You are not your failures. You are the strength it takes to try again. Because Arjun had learned the most important lesson of all. Sometimes the world will not believe in you. Not at first. Sometimes no one will clap when you speak. No one will see your potential. No one will pick you. But that's okay, because the moment you believe in yourself, the world begins to change. Not suddenly, not magically, but slowly and deeply. So if you feel like Arjun once did, overlooked, rejected, unwanted. Don't give up. Don't let their doubts become your truth. Close your eyes, breathe, and believe. Because the day you do is the day everything begins to change.